Cheers, folks, and welcome to my channel. It is Alliance War number 3, yes, number 3 in season number 8. This is not a remake of Alliance War number 1, even though we are matching Apoco again. So, 2 times in 1 week. Maybe there's something in the matchmaking system, Kabam, that can be a little bit optimized. But still, a very strong alliance, have always been a master top 10 alliance in the past. So, and from the first war, we also knew that this was going to be tough. But also to bring in some news, new path, and also especially because of the way the defense was placed, I had the honor today to fight the final boss, a rank 5 thing. And for this special occasion, my team looked actually very different from what I usually bring in Alliance Wars, especially my probably luckiest pull that I had in the past couple of months, Black Widow 5-star, that I pulled from a legendary romance crystal. And she's the weapon against the thing. And for her, I brought 2 champions with synergies. The first one being Quake, because she gives her plus 15% ability accuracy. And also Void, because he gives Black Widow plus 15% in attack rating. And he himself gets Fear of the Void from the start against any Avenger that he fights. And you will see on the path that actually came in quite handy also for me this war. And I awakened Black Widow and I used all my skill 6 stones. I haven't used any skill 6 stones since Blade, I think. And right now she's on SIG level 139, which means she has approximately 59% of possibility to prevent triggering abilities in opponents. And against Science, that is increased by another 15%. And also with Quake, she gets another 15%. So at the end against Science champions, with that, basically those champions, she has 90% chance not to trigger abilities of her opponents. But starting off the path, and I will shortly show the path that led to the thing, which was basically path 3, the second section. On note number 41, which is actually a bloodletting path, so increased bleed, but Stark Spider-Man, he doesn't inflict bleed, so that was not really relevant for him. So I tried to use Void pretty much on the entirety of the path so that I could save Black Widow for then the mini-boss fight, which was a original Spider-Man, and then also for the final boss fight, which was, as I said, the Thing. Stark Spider-Man, in this case, even an unduped one, so he doesn't get any more evade possibility after he's below 50% health. That helps. Still, what I do, I only do 4 combo, so that there's no chance for him to evade my 5th hit, because then basically he counters and you can't really block him anymore, so only use a 4 combo. And then I just let him fire off his special 1, and eventually he's down. Like, there was nothing tremendously. If you play it safe, if you play a little bit cautious, and not too aggressively, then actually it's quite an easy fight against Dark Spider-Man. And then moving on to note number 45. Note number 45 is also a critical note, so a lot of enhanced crits, critical rate, critical damage, and also plus 300% health, plus 200% attack. And it's a 6-star unduped tech champion, and in this case it is Iron Man Infinity War. And I said before, against Avengers, Void triggers Fear of the Void from the start, and that's exactly one example here. Against Iron Man Infinity War, Void triggers Fear of the Void from the very beginning. And what I do in the beginning is I let him hit my block, waiting for him to fire off his heavy here, and basically already after his first movement of his heavy, you can counter his heavy attack. I always like to do that, especially against champions like Iron Man Infinity War, where the heavy consists of like 3 parts, because otherwise, if you let the entire heavy attack happen, then you risk being cornered on your side of the screen. And one of the major reasons for people to die in Alliance Wars is because they get cornered on their side of the screen. So if you have these kind of champions with those heavy attacks that consists of like 3 parts, you can always intercept after their first movement, after their first part, and thus you like prevent a little bit from getting cornered. Moving on to note number 47, power start bar 1 and enhanced special 1, 30% more damage and also unblockable, and a lot of crit nodes, crit boosts on this node. And it turned out to be a 6-star science champion, which luckily for me again turned out to be an Avenger, namely Captain America Infinity War. And also here, as you can see from the beginning, Fear of the Void. And the funny thing is, because it's Fear of the Void, and Fear of the Void also means that it combines all the effects from the different buffs, including petrified debuffs. You saw that in the beginning he was supposed to get 1 bar of power. He doesn't get 1 bar of power because basically the petrified debuffs in Fear of the Void prevent him from getting 1 bar of power from the beginning. It's the same if you would fight, for example, in a Vision, OG Vision, and his synthesis, he doesn't get any power also when Fear of the Void is active. So against those champions and those nodes, Void is actually really, really effective. And I didn't know that from the beginning, and let's say I haven't thought about it. But it perfectly makes sense and is a big advantage because as the special 1 on this node is unblockable, he doesn't even get the special 1 from the very beginning, which is making this node actually usually quite dangerous. So those were actually pretty perfect matchups then for Void with the synergy of Black Widow. And then I moved on to the mini-boss node, which was OG Spider-Man, rank 4. And the mini-boss node always plus 500% health, plus 200% attack, and this one is stun immune and has unblockable and enhanced damage special 1. And I use, of course, Black Widow, due to her 90% ability reduction when it comes to evade of Spider-Man, which comes in very handy, and you will see he only evades once throughout the entire fight in the very beginning, and then he doesn't evade anymore. And what I do is I let him again hit my block with his normal hits, and then wait for him to fire his heavy here, and then I counter and also bring him across this 1 bar of power. And then when he fires off a special 1, I block the first 2 shots, and then I evade only the punches afterwards. And here I failed actually on this attempt, but there will be one more where I can show you again. That's my way of fighting his unblockable special 1. I always block the first 2 shots and then only here 1, 2, and then evade. And then you can evade the remaining punches. And again, within his special 1, only the punches afterwards are actually the ones that are unblockable. The first 2 shots are blockable. And then fired off my special 2, got him to his special 2, and then basically already the fight is over. The only risky thing is really to get clipped on his special 1. And if you're not able to like fully evade his shots in the very beginning, then you might do my method, which is like letting him hit your block with the first 2 shots and then evade. And then already it was time to fight the Thing on boss node. So plus 1000% health, plus 300% attack, stun immune, true strike, and adaptive, meaning he builds up physical resistance and energy resistance during the fight. And you will see in this fight the most clumsy and terrible first 30 seconds. The first 30 seconds were awful in this fight, but then in the end I got my shit together. So what I tried to do is intercept his heavy here. Also, again, because I did not want him to corner me on my side of the map. So that's why I tried to intercept his heavy attack already after the first part. Didn't manage twice, like here's the second time that I didn't manage. And then played actually quite aggressively, because also I didn't know how much time I had and how much damage I could do to take the Thing down in time on this node, because he does have a lot of health on this node. And then I ate 1 special attack 2, and I was just happy that I had my invulnerability boost that took at least the first 3 hits. And after that I was awake, and after that I was below 50% health, which the one good thing about that is that it made me or it gave me the extra damage from the Courage Mastery. And then what happens is, you see, he does only get a rock stack every so and so many hits. And even when he gets above 15 rock stacks, and he would trigger Unstoppable, due to her signature ability, actually most of the time or in this fight, he doesn't. So twice I got him above those 15 rock stacks, and he didn't trigger Unstoppable. So that was actually quite easy. Then you can actually pretty much fight him like a normal champion. Then once I got him to his precisely 15 rock stacks, and that's when he fired off his special, and then he lost all the rock stacks and starts from 0. And then it's very much easy again to basically just, continue the fight as you do before. Evading is heavy. Thank God his specials are actually quite easy to evade. His special 1 here and also his special 2. And the good thing with Black Widow is you really don't have to care so much about his rock stacks. Right now he's at 14, but doesn't really gain a lot. As you see here on this next combo, he doesn't gain any rock stack. And you just let him, again, fire off his heavy and fire off his specials, and just try to play aggressively to do as much damage as possible. On top, she also, of course, ignores his protection shield a lot of the time, so I actually can inflict more damage than maybe other champions could. And even though it was in the end only 20 seconds to go, I managed to solo the thing. And I think if you take away the first 30 seconds of the fight, which were terrible, then actually the rest of the fight was pretty flawless and was pretty good. And I'm actually very, very happy. It was the first time I tried Black Widow against the thing, against the final boss. It was the first time in ages, actually, I fought a final boss. So also a bit rusty there, but very, very happy. And she is the perfect matchup. And I'm really, really happy that I have pulled her as a 5-star. She will clearly be now our answer to the thing on a lot of those notes. And on top to this final boss solo, I can also say that we won also the second war against Apoco this season. And with this, got a perfect first week. 3 wins in a row in the first week. That's as good as it gets. And if you like the video, as usual, feel free to give it a like. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more videos like this in the future, hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see all of you very, very soon on my channel. Cheers, folks.